Have you ever had a single moment that completely changed everything? A time when someone's kindness pulled you out of despair and gave you hope when you least expected it? Today's story is one of those moments, a chance encounter between a woman at her lowest point and two compassionate police officers that turned her life around forever. This is a story about kindness, resilience, and the unexpected power of human connection. Meet Rejoice. Just a few months ago, Rejoice was living a life many of us would consider normal. She had a job, an apartment, and big dreams for her future. But when life took an unexpected turn, she found herself alone, with no safety net and no one to turn to. In her darkest moment, two strangers stepped in and did something extraordinary. What they did not only changed her life but also restored her faith in humanity. Rejoice's life began to unravel when the company she worked for announced layoffs. Like many others, she was let go unexpectedly. The timing couldn't have been worse. With bills piling up and no immediate job prospects, she quickly fell behind on rent. The eviction notice on her door felt like a cruel punctuation mark on her situation. With no close family nearby and her savings gone, Rejoice had no choice but to pack her belongings into a single suitcase and leave the place she once called home. For weeks, she wandered the city, staying in shelters when she could, and sleeping in parks or bus stations when she couldn't. She'd lost more than her job and home. She'd lost her sense of worth. Each day felt like a battle just to survive. She was invisible to the world around her, and the weight of that isolation was almost unbearable. On a bitterly cold evening, Rejoice found herself in a park. The city was alive with the buzz of the holiday season, bright lights, laughter, and the smell of roasted chestnuts in the air. But for Rejoice, it was just another reminder of how far she'd fallen. She sat on a bench, staring at the ground, wondering how much longer she could go on like this. That's when Officers Daniels and Cole noticed her. They were on their usual patrol, but something about Rejoice caught their attention. Maybe it was her worn-out shoes or the way she sat so still, as if trying to disappear. Whatever it was, they decided to approach her. At first, Rejoice was hesitant. She was used to being overlooked, even judged. But the officers didn't ask her accusatory questions. Instead, they simply offered her a cup of coffee and a warm smile. It was such a small gesture, yet it was the first kindness Rejoice had experienced in weeks. And it opened the door for something even bigger. As Rejoice sipped the coffee, the officers sat down beside her and began to talk, not as authority figures, but as people who genuinely wanted to help. They listened as she hesitantly shared her story, the job loss, the eviction, and the overwhelming loneliness that came with it. Officer Daniels told her, "You're stronger than you think, Rejoice. Sometimes, all it takes is a little help to get back on your feet." Then, they went a step further. They made phone calls to local shelters, ensuring she had a safe place to stay that night. But they didn't stop there. Officer Cole had a connection at a nonprofit organization that helped people find jobs and rebuild their lives. By the end of the night, Rejoice had not only a warm bed to sleep in but also an appointment with a career counselor. What struck Rejoice the most wasn't just the help they provided, it was the fact that they saw her, truly saw her, when everyone else had looked away. That night marked the beginning of a new chapter for Rejoice. With the support of the officers and the resources they connected her to, she found a job working at a community center. Now, she helps others who are struggling, using her own story to inspire and uplift. Rejoice often says that one small act of kindness, a warm drink and a conversation, saved her life. And she's right. Sometimes, the smallest gestures can have the biggest impact. Officers Daniels and Cole didn't just change her circumstances, they restored her belief in the goodness of people. Rejoice's story is a powerful reminder of the impact we can have on others, even with something as simple as a kind word or gesture. Have you ever experienced or witnessed an act of kindness that changed everything for you? We'd love to hear your story in the comments below. And if this story warmed your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration today, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories like this one. Because here on Story Haven, we believe in the power of connection, kindness, and hope. See you next time.